Good morning, Cincinnati. I'm Jen Dalton.
And I'm Bob Herzog. Thanks for hanging out on ARC Cincinnati today.
Yeah, and I say this with love. The city of Northside, the village of Northside, the town of Northside. It's weird in the best possible way. I'm a former resident. I love it.
Absolutely, yeah. And this weekend you can celebrate all that this neighborhood has to offer. Here to talk about the North by Northside Festival is organizer Aaron Matter. Aaron, thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Love the logo, by the way. We love the logo.
It's a spacey year. We got to represent.
It's perfect, man. It's perfect.
So, talking about the festival, tell people kind of where the idea came from before we talk about that.
Well, there've been a lot of great walking festivals around Cincinnati for a while. We had Midpoint back in the day, which ultimately met its demise, right?
Yeah.
And we had to adjust your eyes for a little while, and felt that there was a hole to fill when those went away. And Northside is the perfect neighborhood to have this in because it's walkable. Mm-hmm. We've got a really high density of venues and people that want to participate as venues. Shake It Records is there, so we've got a lot going on in the neighborhood that we want to show off.
Yeah, and there's always a lot going on in the neighborhood. We were talking about that during the commercial break a little bit. But what can people expect from the festival? What happens at North by Northside?
Well, we've got a lot of really excellent bands from the city and from the region as well. So we've got some bands coming in from like Columbus, from Louisville. So not too far out, but enough that they can visit Cincinnati regularly and become kind of staples of the scene. And
it's kind of a way, like you said, to just walk between venues and catch one band at one time, and then just down the street a few hours later, you'll be able to see something else. I mean, that's kind of the goal, right? To be able to have multiple venues with multiple artists going on at any time over the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. We've got all kinds of flavors of music. They're all within walking distance of each other. All the different venues are. Yeah. Starts in the mid-afternoon, goes late. It's gonna be really great. We've got lots of food around the neighborhood, lots to do.
Yeah. There's already stuff sort of built in, which makes it nice too. And this is the second year for the festival.
This is the second year of happenings. We had it first in 2019.
Okay.
And we had another great one scheduled for 2020.
And then
something happened.
Yeah, there was a thing.
This whole 4 years I kind of wrote
and then
up.
the next 3 or 4 years is all sort of blend together. And here we are again.
Yeah, so we had to figure it out and bring it back in 2024.
Yeah, rock on.
Well, tell us about some of the bands that are, I know there's probably too many to mention, but some that come to mind right now and some of the venues they'll be playing at.
Yeah, we've got like 65 bands total.
Daggone.
Right?
Yeah, that's
and
a
some
lot.
of Cincinnati's great ones. We've got Vacation, we've got Tweens, Leggy, Free Palestine, Lemon Sky, we've got Devin Burgess. Like I said, I could keep going on and on, but there's so many good ones. We've got a couple bands coming, like I said, from Louisville, and Columbus as well. And I'm just really excited to see all. I'm gonna be running around all afternoon trying to get as many as I can.
Well, and this goes back to a point you made earlier. I think for folks who have never been Northside before, this sounds like such a great entry point to get to know the neighborhood. Do you think that's a good way to think about it?
It is, and I'm glad you brought that up because we do want people to come see what Northside has to offer. It's a great neighborhood, very walkable, and in general, we've got a city of 2 million people in the greater area, something like that. Yeah. And I think that when people hear local music, they don't really understand how to connect with that. They don't know what that means. And we want to provide an easy way for people to come in and really get a flavor of what Cincinnati and the area has to offer in terms of music. Yeah, you'll find your new favorite band if you come to this festival.
Well, I was saying not every band is playing at Riverbend or playing at the Andrew J. Brady. Sometimes they're in a pub, they're in a space that's right down the street from you, and this is a way to enjoy that.
And what an experience when you're 10 feet away from this artist, you're 15 feet away instead of being up on a big stage versus in the crowd. It's a really cool way.
What are some of the venues that are participating?
Hoffner Park is one that we're including this year, and that's always a really fun time to be out in the park for this. Yeah. Northside Tavern, the Lounge, Shake It Records, Comet.
You can get a burrito and get a burrito as big as your head and hang out and have some music. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah. We can't have someone here talk about Northside and not talk about the parade a little bit. We were discussing it a little bit during the commercial break. I think it's worth getting into again because there was some worry about whether or not it was going to happen or it was going to have to be a shorter route or whatever the case may be. How do you feel now that we know it's still going to happen, and why is it such an important tradition to continue?
Well, I know there's a big feeling of relief. Yeah. The community council put in a lot of hard work to make sure that this could go forward. They're the ones that organize it every year, and there's probably a lot of stress going on, but they really pushed to make sure we could keep the traditional route and keep it going from the top of Hamilton all the way down to finally end at Hoffner Park. This is something that's been going on for I think 160 years.
And then
that's crazy.
The carnival will be going on afterwards, right? So another chance to see, after the parade, some great bands.
A lot more great bands.
Yeah.
This is like a little, so when we do the Rock and Roll Carnival, it's a little bit larger of a festival, but condensed into one space.
Yeah.
So for the carnival, we bring in some larger acts. We've got Kendra Morris coming out of Newark this summer. We've got 1876, a Native American punk band coming from Portland.
Cool.
We've got some really cool bands. So yeah, at the end of the parade, you can expect to find a bunch of vendors, food, and music all afternoon long.
Always something going on. There's always going on.
North by Northside this weekend, 4th of July parade, obviously. You mentioned the Rock and Roll Carnival as well. If people are trying to keep track of every different thing that's going on in Northside, is there an easy way to do that?
Well, there sure is. NorthsideRocks.com.
There it is. There it is.
And
Perfect.
all the details for the festival this weekend will be on there as well.
So if you go to NorthsideRocks.com, there's a link to go to the parade, so you can find out the time, the route, everything. It shows you the lineup for the Rock and Roll Carnival and times.
Perfect.
North by Northside and times, and Summer Sideshow, which is our continuing series throughout the summer.
Great.
Always something going on in
Definitely.
Northside. Aaron, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time this
Thank you so
morning
much.
very much.
Thank
And
you.
have fun with the festival this week.
Yeah, have a great time.
Hey there. Yeah, you could stop watching right now, but let's be honest, you don't want to do that. Hit the links or click subscribe to see more amazing content from all of us here at Local 12.